Well, when the designers of the video game Medal of Honor Warfighter wanted more information about attack missions by the U.S. military, they went straight to the source, paying high-profile members of the military for the inside scoop. Video game developer Electronic Arts even boasted that real commandos, both active and retired, had input in making the game. Here's a look.
The fate of the 4 aid workers hangs in the balance.
The ISAF group set a Tuesday deadline to behead one of the workers. The security forces failed to
have demanded the withdrawal of troops from Poland.
Voodoo, give me a sit rep.
No visual on hostages or HVTs.
You shot a hostage?
So it turns out that the 7 paid contributors are members of Navy SEAL Team 6, and one of them was actually part of that raid that killed Osama bin Laden. But the problem is much of the material is classified, and now those men have been disciplined. All 7 SEALs received letters of reprimand and will also have half their pay withheld for 2 months. But they will remain on active duty. And we want to look into this incident from a few different angles, and I've got RT Web producer Andrew Blake here to help me do that. All right, Andrew, so let's talk about this. It's unclear exactly how it was discovered that these sort of very insider, high-profile military figures had been giving this information, but CBS reported this. What has been sort of the reaction to all this?
Well, the Pentagon doesn't seem to like it at all, and it's weird how it seems like the Pentagon at this point should really just start rethinking how they handle their public relations. I mean, I guess you could go back and say that they've always had a bit of a problem, but this is something that people still want to know about, where they're getting in trouble for, allegedly breaking non-disclosure agreements and releasing or sharing classified information. We don't know what. Something made it to the game. It has nothing to do with bin Laden, apparently, but something made it there, and the Pentagon never signed off on it. So it seems we know that other information about the bin Laden raid went to Hollywood already, and there's already been a congressional, or calls for a congressional inquiry into that. But it seems like the Pentagon is really picking and choosing who they want to reprimand, who they want to hold accountable, and for what.
I think that's a really good point. I remember we saw a few months ago that story on 60 Minutes. I believe there were pilots who were sharing information about the F-22 safety information. They were worried that the equipment they were using was faulty. They went up the chain of the command in the military. Nothing was done about it, so they felt they had no other choice but to go to the media to say, hey, we don't feel safe in our job. And those guys were reprimanded.
Yeah, they had to actually get congressional guidance. They actually had to go find a lawmaker on the Hill to accompany them to CBS to sit in and watch them speak, so that they knew that they would be properly protected under whistleblower protection acts for disclosing something that was life or death. I mean, we have at least one confirmed death of a pilot who was in an F-22, lost oxygen, crashed, and died. And other pilots, I believe out of a base in Alaska, the base itself has been shut down multiple times because there's been so many problems with these F-22s. And the moment 2 pilots actually stood up and said, look, something has to be done, the Pentagon just rushed to shut them up, and they sent them the same kind of reprimand letters, which it doesn't sound that creepy or scary unless you're really in the military, but a letter of reprimand essentially can end your career in the military. So now we have 7 people, 7 SEALs, who were sharing, we don't even know what, but with a video game. This wasn't going public, even if it was going public with something that was life or death. They shared information as creative consultants with a video game, and for that, their careers and the rest of their lives are in jeopardy. I mean, do you really want to traumatize our troops anymore? It's bad enough that we sent them over to Pakistan to put a couple holes in some guy's head, and they can't even talk about it. I mean, sure, that's one thing, but now they're being told they can't talk about anything, even if it's for the sake of entertainment.
But what about, like you said, that movie, I think it was called Act of Valor.
Act of Valor.
I know that the commander of this mission in Pakistan, in Abbottabad, Pakistan, William McRaven, Admiral McRaven, he said that the increased notoriety of these men as heroes, Navy SEAL Team 6, this could increase recruitment. Yeah. So they wanted, these, I've met several Army Rangers and Navy SEALs in the past, and they've always sort of been like silent warriors. They like to stay under the radar. But with this very high-profile mission, I remember almost as high-profile a few years ago was the Somalian pirate mission, which was pretty incredible. So they want to get these stories out there. under their, guidance
absolutely.
for the purpose of recruiting more members of the military.
It really comes down to what the Pentagon wants to vet and what they want to allow out into the public. If it's a matter of shaking hands with Hollywood and saying, yes, make this movie, we're going to give you props, we're going to give you information that's going to show you exactly how we did this, that, and the other thing, and it's going to make millions, and everyone's happy, and the American military looks super duper, that's one thing. But apparently, if you go and want to be a creative consultant to ensure the accuracy of a video game, which seems kind of silly, that can lose you your job. I mean, that seems like something I would do. Like, I would lose my job by consulting over a video game. It doesn't really
We would never let you lose your job,
Oh, thank
Andrew.
you very much. Thank you.
It's interesting because, again, it's the bottom line seems to be, does going public or sharing information, in what way does it harm or help the U.S. military? I would almost argue that having this video, I haven't played it. I'm not a video game person. I never even passed Super Mario Brothers. But
I can show you the way.
this video game, it seems to once again glorify these members of the military. The graphics are good, so I would say this could also possibly help in recruitment. I don't know.
It wasn't that the whole allure of SEAL Team 6? Like the Navy SEALs, they're supposed to be the baddest of the bad. They're supposed to be the ones that are out there doing the things that no other member of the armed forces dare do, like execute Osama bin Laden. But like I said, we know that they didn't, or we're told that they didn't actually disclose information relevant to that case that is being used in the video game. However, we still don't know. It's been a year and a half. What actually happened during that raid? We have one former SEAL's book that wasn't vetted through the CIA, and they kind of freaked out a little bit, but they let that slide. We have movies, but when it comes down to what actually happened, the White House, the State Department, the Pentagon...
Pictures were never leaked.
No, it's still...
A lot of information about that
And a lot of
day.
people still have questions, and it's... I don't want to go start saying that there's conspiracy theories. I mean, we know that there are about what happened, and I believe that... I believe the official story. Sure, 2 shots, dead, dumped him off a boat, whatever. Sounds good to me. But this was a major moment in American and international history that we still only have very limited knowledge of. And the fact that they want to go and make an example out of 7 guys just for trying to help out with a video game makes me really think, personally, that the Pentagon doesn't really have their priorities in order when it comes to how they should be handling situations like this.
All right.
That's just me.
RT Web producer Andrew Blake. It's an interesting story. A lot of people are talking about it, and we wanted to get your perspective on this. So thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.